His first Cascadia Cup game. How you feel going against the big rivals now?
Second Cascadia Cup game, first
Oh
game
yeah,
against them. Yeah, we already played Portland.
against the Whitecaps.
Yeah, this one's the Whitecaps. I mean, obviously they've gotten off to a good start as well. They've, entrusted their forward line to a lot of their young players. Got a lot of speed up front. They're really dangerous on the counterattack. They've played well at home so far, so it's going to be a tough game for us, but it's a game that we'll be ready for.
Without Miller, without Camilo, are you surprised that they've been able to piece together that offense the way they have?
No, a lot of respect for their young guys. I think Mana's a very talented player. Hurtado, has come on and played well. Maddox has been in and out with his injury, but he's another guy. Those guys just, strike fear into you just with their speed and what they can do. And then the addition of Morales and the addition of Fernandez, I'm sure Camilo wishes he was there now with those guys behind him. But they're a team that lives on that counter. That's been very good playing through midfield. Laba is another player, another addition that's really helped their club and really solidified them in the middle of midfield.
Your draw against Portland was obviously high scoring, fun. Can we expect that theme to continue with this next Cascadia Cup match?
I hope not. My heart can't endure all those high-scoring 4-4s, and especially come from behind 4-4s. But I guess I'd feel worse if we were ahead 4-2 and got tied. But it's going to be a game that we last week concentrated on our defending. We want to make sure we do another good job defending. That's an important part of our game. But we're still very confident in our offense and our ability to create chances. I thought we created chances in the second half against San Jose, and so it's going to be. I think it's going to be a game that's a little bit open because they like to counterattack and they like to get forward. If they do get forward on us in the counterattacking situation, we're a team that's also not afraid to counterattack and go the other way. So it might open up at certain times in the game.
Going back to their speed, how do you slow them down and break up their rhythm?
It's little things, just being aware, doubling the right time on guys in the outside channels, making sure that we don't leave a lot of space open behind us.
How much is that last meeting with Vancouver on your mind, and did you learn anything specifically from that game that you'll carry over to this week?
Well, again, that was last year. That was last year's team, and that was a game that we didn't play well, just like the Colorado game, that we didn't play well. Obviously, we learned our lesson from that one and turned that around against Colorado here at home. But, Manic got behind us. We were a little bit slow reacting, and we have to make sure we're aware. And I know the guys who were involved in that game are all aware of that, and they'll all be alert in this game.
Based on the shutout that occurred last game, are you planning to make any changes on the back four?
We look at it from game to game. We see how it is. Remic's back healthy. Obviously Jimmy Traore is an option for us as well. So just like last week, we felt that Zach Scott was the right guy for that particular team. We'll make a decision, tomorrow night as to what's the best way to go, to stay the same or to maybe make a change or two. But we're very confident in a number of players besides the starting 11.
Marco Pappa got off to a bit of a slow start, but he seems to have been rounding up lately. What have you thought of his change or his progression?
He was good. He was very sharp today at training. I mean, he had some excellent through balls today at training and set some people up and looked very sharp. His confidence is coming. It always takes you a little bit when you go into a situation like he went into in Holland, where there was a period of time where he didn't play, where he didn't have the confidence of the coach at that time, and you lose a little bit of faith and confidence in yourself. And always, to be a good player, you need a little bit of swagger. At the start here, it started off a little slowly. He wasn't sure if he had my confidence at the beginning. I think now he realizes he does. And, I can see that swagger is back in his step a little bit. He's also done the things I've asked him to do as well. And so he's a very important player for our team in terms of our possession, and probably becomes more important right now in the period of time that we don't have Dempsey.
And with Dempsey being out, does it almost seems like he's been even more, I don't know, he's tried a few more things. He was already trying stuff, but does it seem like he gives him more freedom maybe to be like the creative force in the midfield?
I hope he's not playing differently. We need him to play the same as he was, and I don't think he really is. I think there's a little bit more space sometimes, because Dempsey will drop into that hole, so there's a little more space in that hole there. The way San Jose played, because they play a very straightforward 4-4-2. I think he did a good job of finding that space behind their midfield and in front of their back four. And every team is different. They play a 4-2-3-1, and so sometimes it looks like a 4-5-1. So they close that space a little more. So you might find his space on the wing a little more this week. But I think Marco's a smart enough player that he can figure out where his space is on that particular day, and he's good about finding it. And Leo now, has played with him a few games, and so he does a better job of finding him with the ball as well.
Any health issues other than the IR guys?
No, we just got Sean Okole, who's still bothered by his knee a little bit, so he'll have an MRI today, but he ran and did everything today, and we still wanted to go a little bit easier with Lamar Nagel, so we'll make a final decision on him tomorrow.
Does this turf play any factor in who might go or not leg-wise?
We try not to spend a lot of time on that. We don't have, Thierry Henry situations or Olave where we're saying this guy's not going to play on turf or whatever. We just sort of deal with it. What we try and do is we try and avoid training on turf as much as possible, and then we just go out there and we play on it. I mean, it's our home field. It's what we have to do. Complaining about it isn't going to change it right now, although we hope we get a new turf field next year. But their turf field's been in there for a while, so we haven't been on it since last year, so we'll see how it is this year with the wear and tear.
Somewhat related, what did you think of New England's new turf, aside from the result, obviously?
It was really soft, really spongy. So you could tell it was a new turf, so it played slower as a result of that. But it was a game that we're trying to forget, so I can't really remember how many pebbles were on the field at this time.
Have you heard at all from any of the guys up with the national team or talked to Jurgen at all? Any updates on how they're doing?
Talked a little bit, texted a little bit with the guys, have not spoken to Jurgen at this stage. All the guys seem to be doing okay. Nobody's got any injuries, which is the good news.
What would be the earliest you would expect any of them to be back if they don't make the final 23-man?
Maybe June 3rd. But if they come back then, they might be so burned out then. I don't know, if they're going to be any good for the 7th. So we'll see.
Tuesday with Gas that you might be looking at signing a center back in the summer window. Is that a position you consider an area of need?
We're always looking. We're always looking. Center back's a position that we're looking. We're also looking at midfielders. There's also a forward who's come to our attention. If it's the right fit and we think it makes sense, it's something that Chris, Adrian, Kurt, myself will look at. So it's not something that we feel is a must-have. That if we don't do it, oh geez, we're going to be in real big trouble. But we do recognize the fact that we've got two center backs that are, a little bit above 30 now, and one that's going to hit 30, this year. So we want to make sure we continue to be prepared for 2015 as well. And so if a good center back comes along in the summer window, rather than miss that opportunity and wait for the winter, we might have to, grab it now if it's the right guy, if it's a guy that makes sense for us.
Jose Cubero was a guy that's been linked with the team in February and again recently. Is that anyone you can talk about?
No. I mean, can't really talk about him. I mean, he was somebody that was in the mix of players that we were looking at the time when before we signed Pineda, and so he's still a quality player. I'm trying to remember now if he's on Costa Rica's World Cup roster.
Yeah. He's on the preliminary roster.
Yeah, he's on the preliminary roster there, and so he's a player. He's another one of those guys that you got to see: is this the right time? Is he out of contract? Is it maybe a situation that we need to address now, or do we wait until the winter?
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks.